Hello and welcome to yet another special episode of the BT Accenture Leadership Dialogues. My name is Aayush Ailawadi, and enjoying the tech and content space so much, my journey has brought me here to Bengaluru at the Zee Tech and Innovation Center. I'm joined by two very special guests in this swanky office, Nitin Mittal at Zee and Devyani Ozarde at Accenture. What a pleasure to have you on the show.
Welcome Ayush to Zee Entertainment Innovation Center. Good to have you here. And Devyani, welcome.
Thank you, Nitin. Thank you, Aayush. Pleasure to be here.
A pleasure to have you on the show. I'd like to start off by asking you all about the journey, Nitin.
Credit goes to the team who work together. So we have learned a lot during our journey. Some of them, my colleagues, have been together with me for some time. So we all learn in different parts and pockets of our journey. We pick up all the good things, put it all together and try to improve with every step going forward.
And a huge, chunk of that credit also goes to what Accenture is doing with your technology partnership. Devyani, how does this partnership really work for Accenture? Because it's a very, very crowded, competitive space, especially what Z5 is doing in the OTT space. It's important to be unique, and I'm guessing technology can be the secret sauce.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having us over here. Absolutely, very well put, Ayush. Accenture has always been at the forefront of technology. And we really like to partner with organizations which lead their transformations using technology. Absolute pleasure to work with Zee and visionary leaders like Nitin.
Yes, and I want to get more to that partnership because, like I was saying, it's a data-driven world. Now, the trends that we're talking about in 2024 and beyond are all about AI, mixed reality. Nitin, the content world is all set for yet another disruption. What's happening with generative AI? What's happening with content consumption patterns? There's just an announcement about one of the world's biggest mixed reality headsets coming in. Yeah. I'm guessing all of you all will be crowding up saying, how will content change? How does that landscape change in the next 6 to 12 months?
So to me, content is always close to what consumer wants to watch. So content is always evolving near the lifestyle of the consumer. As the society is evolving, as the norm and value system is changing, the content keep coming from our day-to-day life. So I will say our affinity to get closer to people's life and convert them into a story which inspire people, and especially from country like India, which has got not only a day-to-day life stories, but also so much of legendary stories to tell. To me, it's fascinating and exciting space. Our job at Zee Tech and Innovation Center is to bring those stories to life. And that's where we align with overall vision which our CEO has. And that's how this setup was created. Is that how can we take Indian stories from Indian life and from Indian legends over last thousands of years to a planet scale. So Zee already operates in 190 countries. We reach to at least 750 million people every day. But how do we take the reach to 5 billion people every day? Is the journey which we started at Tech and Innovation Center.
Interesting. And so it all starts here in the heart of Bengaluru. Devyani, to have a team to set it up from scratch who actually understands the content landscape or what we do in the media and entertainment space, that might have, a lot of thought must have gone into that. Yeah. And especially with the culture here at Zee, all about innovation. To marry the two, I'm guessing that digital transformation journey must have been interesting. How did you pick the team that would work with Nitin and his team to drive this partnership forward?
Absolutely. Before I touch upon that, I'll just add another point to Nitin's point. I think the way consumers are evolving today, it's absolutely imperative for all media businesses to keep reinventing. It's absolutely becoming tough for content creators to keep supplying good content because the definition of good content or successful content doesn't exist. Absolutely. Right? It's very subjective. So therefore, there has to be some method to the madness, and which is where technology plays a role. And definitely, this is an exciting space to be in. Mm-hmm. Coming to your question, I think setting up a team, is always a challenge, which is driven, which is aligned to the client's, objectives. And with respect to Nitin's vision on setting up a transformational journey using data, I think we already had quite a few projects done across data and analytics across other sectors. But media and entertainment is a space where we needed to set up a team which had that subject matter expertise in place, right? So we took some time, but we had a great team. But in addition to that, I think what I want to point out is it's not just us setting up a team, right? It has to be a partnership. And I must really commend Nitin on setting up the team, from his end as well, because it's always important to have the right partners on board, but it's even more important to have the right kind of alignment internally as well. So Nitin made sure that he had the right team in place who would work with us to make his vision a success. So that's another aspect I would say in terms of building a team really goes.
And this feels like I'm talking to the two captains of a top sporting team, because you all are really sharing and giving each other credit. I appreciate
it's
that.
It's all about the partnership.
It is, and I think that shows.
So it reminds me when we had this conversation almost 2.5 years back with Accenture. We were not emphasizing so much about what individuals will bring to table.
Correct.
It's what Accenture has done on data and analytics space globally.
Right.
And also irrespective of the domain, because end of the day, there is a lot of cross learning you can have across industries.
Right.
And Accenture being a global organization, having presence in all the large Fortune 500 clients, there is enough learning on the organization level. So it's all about tapping globally. And that's what the Accenture team did. We ended up meeting and listening and learning from so many people globally around how they have turned around the data poor organization, which had a lot of data but no intelligence,
right,
to extremely data intelligence driven organization over a period of last decade. So for us with Accenture, the whole idea was to cut short that journey of what they could do for over 10 years with various industry companies.
Right.
How can they do it in a year with us? And finally, with the right set of people being chosen by Accenture to put it on project, that 1 year was a cakewalk. So to me, I think it works very well.
Right. But Nitin, it's fostering that culture of teamwork, and I think that's one of the big aspects of leadership that we want to touch upon in this conversation. But like Devyani was saying, even with you identifying the right people on the team and then also making the Accenture team feel at home in this innovation center, because it feels like, this is the energy I'm getting. I don't know if it's Bengaluru or it's just this place, but it feels like a startup by itself. Right from the colors you guys have picked to the kind of conversations we've been having to the separate rooms, the AI, the dashboards, like I said. So does that really play a crucial part in really making sure this partnership is successful? Because that sort of common approach from both sides, is that a key aspect of it?
It's a key aspect. So, why did we set it up in this way? One is, not everybody who's coming and working here comes from a media industry, right? So you need to have the feel for when you meet each other about your lives. The environment has to be relaxed enough for you to have a conversation. That environment should also give you a feeling that you are in a different ecosystem compared to when you step out of this office.
Right.
We should all not forget that when we come through the Indian infrastructure ecosystem outside these offices, you are coming through a hardship. But when you land inside, the expectation is always that you will behave like a first world citizen. Day zero, you click in, you're becoming productive. So it's our job to create ambience, environment, culture, facilities and atmosphere in such a way that everybody feel at home, relaxed and get on with their day-to-day job and spend as much time they can here. So if you look at this place has everything what you need for an entertainment, you as and a team. It has got a playing area. It has got a gym as well. Wow. If you are running short on time to stay fit, you can do that. And it has enough food available for you to keep yourself nourished.
So 2 key follow-up questions. As someone who enjoys being in the health and fitness space as well, are the Accenture team members also allowed to use the gym?
Absolutely.
Number 1. Number 2, is the food free? No,
it's free. Food is free.
Guys, this is really tempting me to join this team at this point. Because it sounds like, and you give them time to work out as well.
So you can be here as long as you want.
Fair enough. Okay,
Define your schedule and keep yourself fit mentally and physically and work together.
No, I appreciate it. It's interesting because, we were chatting earlier, Nitin, and I'd love to share this with our viewers as well. And what I found very interesting is how you differentiated between output and outcome. Yeah. Now, our teams working across the media and content space, a lot of us tend to focus on our tasks at hand, our targets, and we look at output. Would you prefer to look at outcome for your team or output?
For us, outcome matters. So, no denial that everybody puts in great effort. But when you put efforts in a right sequence, in a more cohesive way as a team, and you seek help, which means you are transparent if you are struggling at some place, you gradually build trust, and that trust leads to an outcome. So for us, it's that, yes, we also do the same thing, which is break down things into tasks, assign to people, but we make sure that culture is built in such a way that these tasks are cohesive enough for us to deliver an outcome which a business wants, which means our consumer and our customers are able to get what they expect from a platform like Zee.
Devyani, it's interesting because a lot of these data insights are also put together, and through this partnership, I realized the Data Intelligence Hub is a key component. You want to just talk us through how that really works and how that really adds one extra layer to this partnership and the outcome, not the output.
Absolutely. I think I'll talk a little bit about the journey that we embarked upon along with Zee. Zee embarked or partnered with us to embark on this data journey. Yeah. We started out in 2021 sometime, where it's the engagement or the discussion started with a strategy exercise. We said, let's lay out a strategy, let's lay out a roadmap that sort of helps us bring various data sources together. Like a media business has multiple business functions, bringing data together from various business functions was very, very important. And that's what we set out doing. After that strategy exercise, I think we were, very much aligned, and we had a clear vision in terms of, what we wanted to do within this program. And as an outcome of that strategy exercise, we defined a playbook or data strategy playbook. That sort of started our journey, wherein we defined what sort of data products we want to build, what are the different decision engines we want to build. And of course, it was a collaborative exercise, when we had Accenture team working along with the Zee team to build this entire playbook together. Right, working with various business functions, content, sales, etc., taking their inputs into consideration, understanding their pain points, and designing those decision engines which would enable them to take day-to-day business decisions without really having to scuttle through multiple Excels and multiple reports and bringing all that data together. After that exercise, I think the next step was for us to build a data intelligence hub, which is nothing but a beautifully designed, visualization interface, which brings all your reports under one umbrella. At a click of a button, designed specifically for executives on the go, you could take a look at, specific to your business function, you could take a look at the data that is relevant to you. So that's what the Data Intelligence Hub does. And it's future ready, absolutely. I mean, the way Nitin has envisioned it, it's future ready. It's ready to pick up new features, be Gen AI ready. I mean, possibilities are limitless over there.
Devyani, it's interesting you mentioned Gen AI. That's going to now be the question I put forward to you, because Gen AI is what we're all talking about, and an innovation over there is much required. And it's happening exponentially at a rate globally with big tech that we hadn't even fathomed earlier. But Nitin, when you talk about what you're doing here at the Zee Group and with this partnership, how much of a role does AI play in the future of what you're doing with this particular partnership and what you're doing at Zee?
Sure. So I'll take a step back. So why did we build this Data Intelligence Hub? The whole purpose of doing Data Intelligence Hub is to get a quality of data clear. because data was always around in a content company in millions and gazillions of places. Idea was to bring it all together, have a central repository, curate it in such a way that it can be used for monetization, and make it more intelligent enough, which means that we started applying machine learning capabilities. When we see these intelligence hub, you were able to figure out that these are not just data points. These are the actionable intelligence units which you can take and apply in your day-to-day work. Now coming to this interesting buzz thing called generative AI. So if you look at generative AI, it's one of the branches of AI. And for us, AI is what I'll say will define our 24, 25, 26, 27, whatever year we go forward. We have identified somewhere around 180 use cases where AI would apply and make difference in three aspects. One is it will augment our creator ecosystem and improve their creativity. Second part is it will improve our speed to go to market, which means we'll be able to monetize either our content or our relationship with brands or with creators. And the third thing is it will also improve our productivity across the organization. Of that 180, we have summed them up into 6 themes which we are working on. And we believe these 6 themes will help us to get next 3 billion people on our platform, which is our original vision for which we started, because it will help us to give a scale whereby we can take our stories in all the languages through subtitling and dubbing. We'll be able to work with more than 500 brands which we work today, potentially to 500,000 brands, take our media assets for advertisement and reach to smaller and medium businesses. We'll be able to create interesting music. So if you look at music space, which is untouched, however, it's very limited to maybe few 10,000s of people who play a role in it. To everybody can create their own music. And also at the same time, personalize the marketing of this content at a planet scale. All of us like to watch content. All of us get intimidated by content, but we have our own choices. We click on those content where we like the visual, the way we like to see it.
Right.
And that power comes when you are able to generate it based on data and compound it with the AI. So all these things will come together in next couple of years, which we are doing it ourselves and also with our partners.
Interesting. Devyani, from an Accenture standpoint, that's very interesting because across business today's multiverse, we've had several conversations where we've spoken about AI and the impact it will have largely on industry, on jobs, on sectors. Today we're focusing on the media, but how does that philosophy in terms of what you all have at Accenture at the group level really work with Zee over here? Is generative AI the way forward? Are there any particular insights you'd like to share with our viewers as well?
Absolutely. You may have read, we have made significant investments in the generative AI sector, and we continue to do so. Within media, there are immense possibilities, and it's just the beginning, right? Laying our data foundation was step one. Going forward from here, possibilities are immense where we are building use cases just the way Nitin explained.
Yeah.
But every media company needs, I mean, it's not about replacing people, but augmenting, the way they work.
Yeah.
Enabling them with intelligence, which probably would take days, in a traditional setup. Gen AI is only enabling and augmenting, every sector. Same goes with media. I think it's only exponential. Going forward, I think a lot of media production, creative, will start making use of Gen AI in a much more sophisticated way and not really be scared of it being replacement for their own jobs.
Well, absolutely,
So I think one thing which we are aligned with Accenture is around the philosophy of human in the loop. Idea is for AI is not to replace. It's to augment. So human in the loop is a common philosophy. Now, how you apply human in the loop as a concept across the value chain of media is obviously it will unfold itself. However, at the same time, being responsible. So how we can remove the opaqueness in what we are doing and become more transparent and build trust with the creator ecosystem and also with the viewer. And we have all seen how deepfake can create an havoc across when the misinformation propagates. Is a responsibility which we have taken on ourselves. And it's a journey. There is no one solution which will solve everything. But that's where the partnership comes in, where the partners bring the broader ecosystem knowledge. We bring in our domain expertise, and like this expand the ecosystem so that collectively we use the technology and the intelligence for its purpose. At the same time, keep the ecosystem safe. So that's a journey we have got together.
Very well put. It can't be never be done in isolation. It has to be done in partnership with the actual business.
No, I like the concept of keeping the human in the loop. But there's something I want to get your thoughts on, and this is nothing prepared or scripted. This is just thoughts at the top of my head. As a content creator myself, right? One thing that is very crucial to what we do next from a content strategy standpoint is insights we get now from social media. So AI would help in a lot of ways, but we rely on social media algorithms to tell us what kind of content is really doing well. It doesn't always have to be an OTT app or a television service. Social media plays a key role. I think that's another trend we can touch upon. Nitin, how much of integration do we have within what's happening in this building, in this campus, with those insights coming in perhaps from social media or on-ground events, those sort of audience insights, which can then be used to augment what you're doing at maybe a platform like Z5?
Sure. So what we do is when our content is published either on television or Z5, there are enough social media community groups which are available on the known social media platforms, whether it's Instagram or a Facebook or a Twitter page or many other places. What we are doing right now is bringing on that engagement quotient with the community or with the protagonist or with that script or with the twist and plot insight into how we create scripts for our new episodes. So there is something which we created called Script GPT. And we spoke about it in public last month when we unveiled it after a year of work on it. So our top 12 television channel shows, next episodes, scripts are created today using AI, which has an amalgamation of our previous storylines. It has all the trends and patterns which are going on in the social media on that topic or similar topic. And of course, through research, societal insights of how few things are changing in a society, but there's a long-term trends. We feed into it. We give an option to our script writers saying, here are the 4 options of twists and plots you can think of associated with potential rating impact, and that gives them a choice, keeping human in the loop to decide what script should be there for the next show. And that's what can help every creator at different scales.
Isn't it amazing?
It is amazing. I'm just wondering, there's so many people on strike in the United States worried about what's going to happen with our film scripts, and this is a really cool way to crowdsource it and engage with community.
Yeah, but on insights, I'll add one more point over
yes,
here.
Please, I'd love to.
There are so many different sources of information today. You touched upon social media. I mean, even within social media, there are multiple sources. We did one small exercise with Z5 a couple of months ago, wherein we looked at multiple data sources, and we did design a playbook that enabled the content team at Z5 to look at data trends, content trends, what's working, where are the white spaces, where should they really invest.
What sort of mediums were these, if I may ask?
So you would have right from all your social media platforms, covering all comments. Of course, you can't really look at the the personal pages, but all publicly available data across social media platforms is what we scan through. Apart from that, there was a couple of primary research done which supplemented certain data points that we looked at from an age group and demographic perspective. So we combined primary and secondary data to do that.
Nice.
That enabled the team to come up with yet another set of use cases which are even more further down the line, where they want to know when should they release a particular show? Should they do, an entire season drop, or an episode drop every Monday? What should be the release strategy? How much marketing is enough? Should they cast a big name versus a new face?
Correct.
Where is the appetite? So on and so forth. So there are so many other business problems that data is able to solve, and this is only scratching the surface at the moment.
And this was all done using, a lot of proprietary Accenture tech, I'd imagine. The teams are using stuff like this?
Accenture intelligence, but data is all publicly available, yes.
That's very interesting, Nitin. I think, are there any particular things that we can expect in the next few months? I know you said AI is going to dominate the next few years, but in terms of what you guys are doing with some of these data insights?
Yes, all these Gen AI use cases, you will see a lot coming out in the market. We should be launching a couple of them in next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Specifically around, I would say, subtitling. So almost 72 languages, our content will be available in the subtitle space in next 2 weeks. We would be launching marketing capability for our content for Z5 customers in a personalized manner. So that will leverage AI to a very large extent. So yeah, just a beginning of our journey, but given that we have so much of rich insights from our own history of 30 years and our connected ecosystem with our consumer and customers is helping us to accelerate in this space. And one of the big announcement will come in the music space. So watch out. It could be the India's first large music model.
What I really wanted to understand, Devyani, is we've been talking about some of these trends, AI, mixed reality, what you can do with some of these potential technologies. But when you look at the media landscape from a technology lens, data and analytics, what's the way forward there?
I think one of the most important things that I did touch upon previously during our conversation was to drive a culture of, using data the right way, right? I mean, you can implement as many data intelligence hubs, as many as possible. But if there isn't enough adoption, and if there isn't the right culture to be data driven and taking those decisions based on data, then really, you can't really do much about it, how much ever you introduce there. I think with, the initiative we've taken with Zee, I think that's one of the primary success factors. And I would say going forward, all organizations who are embarking on this journey should invest in this stewardship and this endeavor to take it forward within the organization, making sure that it's adopted well. And therefore, driving the success of, and because it only grows, right? You don't just implement one set of data and then you're happy with it. It's growing every day. Consumers are dropping signals every single minute. They're consuming your content. They're talking to you on social media. They're constantly telling you what to give them, what to supply. So are you picking up those signals? And are you ready to look at that data? That is the question. I think, organizations like Zee are really, forward thinking in that sense. They've already embarked on the journey and in a much sophisticated fashion. And that's the way forward, I think, for most media organizations to look at scientifically to their creative endeavors.
Interesting. Data, tech, innovation, AI. I can only assure you about one thing, that this is Nitin Mittal, Devyani Ozarde and Aayush Ailawadi sitting here in Bengaluru, not any AI avatars or anything in the metaverse. For now, we are here and we've enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much for joining us on this special edition of the BT Accenture Leadership Dialogues. And we hope to continue this conversation in the days to come.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.